Hey guys, this is Julian from the Binary Lab, and today I'm gonna go through an article with you that is causing quite a bit of concern among members inside of the Binary Lab community. Ever since this news came up with Finance Magnets, and by the way, Finance Magnets is one of the websites that tracks binary reforms and changes a lot. And so they've actually published an article that cysec is looking to reform and standardize binary options trading. Okay, I think this is definitely a very good move because up till now, I would say that binary options still receive some kind of a stigma in the industry, and this is because of some of the bad sheep that have left the market. As you saw my recent videos, I talked about how backday binary was removed. I thought that's really good, and most recently as well, when I was at the London Financial Partners Expo, I found out that cysec also stopped issuing bonuses on binary broker accounts. So basically, if any of you guys are trading in binary options right now, starting right now, you would not be able to get any bonus arrangements anymore because they wanted to do away with a lot of the lock-ins that brokers used to abuse to keep people inside of their platform. So if any of you is still under a bonus agreement right now, many of the binary options companies have offered the ability for you to retract the agreement so that you can actually reject the bonus and basically have the amount removed from your account, and you can withdraw normally as well. And if any broker company is still issuing that, they're just about in the process of winding down too. But let's have a look at some of these things. And there's one particular area that's causing a lot of concern. Out of the 5 reforms that's being proposed, do take note that these are actually just proposals. But from the general outlook of things, I am in favor of this. However, there's one thing that I really hope doesn't doesn't come out to be true. But if it does, I want to share with you what kind of workarounds I'm thinking of and basically my thoughts about it. Okay, so what they're looking to do is to try to reform the binary regulatory framework, okay, and to eliminate deficiencies in the existing framework and basically come up with new conduct standards and measures. And I believe this is going to improve, the investors' confidence in this industry, because there's a group of us that we have come into binary options trading and most probably from other forms of financial derivatives trading, such as like stocks and forex and the CFDs and all that. And a lot of us who have come to love binary options, we still accept that there are still a bunch of flaws out there in the industry, basically with unregulated brokers and unlicensed brokers that make it kind of dangerous and is still casting, a very looming stigma, like I mentioned earlier, on this industry, which really could have been a lot better than this. And with some of these things that are being proposed, I really think that binary options trading can be legitimized to a much greater degree, and it's going to greatly increase the acceptance in binary options trading. Okay, so I just want to show you some of this stuff, and so they recognize that binary options, they carry deficiencies today. They do not provide retail investors with adequate protection investing in high-risk and complex financial instruments. So the proposed reforms, they are under consultation right now. They are looking to enhance the nature, characteristics, and trading methodology of this type of financial instrument. As you know, there have been all those scammy bots and, overly simplified formulas out there in the market that are sold for various amount of money, basically sucking uneducated traders into this industry only for them to be slaughtered. So these are some things that will make things better for us, I believe. And as you can see, the proposed standards regarding digital options contracts will seek to eliminate the cause of concern regarding the practice that commonly found to be followed by those providing binary options products, and trading firms act in an honest, fair, and professional manner. Okay, so let's have a look at these ones. Removing opaque strike pricing. Strike pricing must be the same for all clients, and floating strike prices are not permissible. Okay, so um, with many platforms, you must have experienced it when you look at the certain price being quoted, but when you click it, you get something different. And then when you dispute that, because sometimes that causes you to lose the trade, only to find that the customer service rep or the account manager or the tech department gets back to you and say that, well, all these prices that you see on the screen are only indicative, and the price that you will get is a matter of bid and ask divided by 2. So this is something that I feel is something that's very, very unfair in the eyes of the trader, because one of the reasons why most of us come to binary options, isn't it because there's no spreads in binary? So if that's the case, why is there a difference in price? So this is something that is going to be eliminated. I mean, they're pushing for this to be eliminated, and I am totally in favor of opaque strike pricing. Okay, I hope this is being put out there as soon as possible. It's going to be so good for short-term traders such as myself and people inside the binary lab. Okay, okay. Quoting potential outcomes real time. Prices must be quoted as an evolving bid-ask spread, representing clearly the percent probability of an outcome occurring. So, I think these would be to do with the trader sentiment indexes inside of the currencies, because although some of the brokers have a panel that show you what the market sentiment is, not every broker has that. And I believe this is an important tool. And even if they do, they should not be quoting as of what people inside of a broker customer base are looking at. Okay, well, because if they're just looking inside of a platform, most of the time, I would say the vast majority of binary options traders are actually uneducated. They came in looking at it as a new way to gamble, so to speak, or many of them have been drawn into this industry because of, like I said, one of those scammy systems sold online that really oversimplify binary options trading. And a lot of them are very misguided in the way that they choose whether to call or put. So by reflecting what is happening in the market as a whole in general, such as the volumes that are being reflected, and even I would say the alligator oscillator that you can find on many of the charting platforms. This is something that is going to be basically helping a lot of newbie traders, because at least that way, even if they didn't know what to do, they will have a better, accurate idea of what's happening. Right now, if you compare a broker that attracts more of the serious traders versus a bucket shop binary options broker, you're going to see a very, very different trader sentiment, and that's just not good. Now, lifting restrictions on exiting trades. Okay, CIS must provide continuous two-way pricing, and clients must not have to wait until contracts point of expiration to exit the position. For many of the brokers out there in the markets, and even inside of what we work with right now, sometimes the brokers will look at what I'm using and they'll say that, hey, how is it that I have the ability to cancel my trade within 5 seconds? And sometimes with some of the brokers, like Olymp Trade, you can cancel up to 5 seconds before. Okay, we actually offer like Olymp and IQ, and this one offers the ability for you to cancel up to 20 seconds before. This one allows you to sell up to 20 seconds before the end of the trade. And over here, they allow you to sell up to 5 seconds before the end of the trade. And I think that's totally awesome. However, many of the brokers, although they do have that for trade expiries beyond 5 minutes, let's say 7 minutes and above typically, but inside of 5 minutes, they don't have that. So people are wondering if binary options is being modeled after stock options. And this is basically how binary options came about, right? In 2009, 2008, after Lehman Brothers. So why doesn't it have the same features as traditional options? So I'm really glad that these two brokers that we are working with, that people can actually join binary lab through, have that feature. 24 options has that. Bull binary has the ability for you to cancel trades within 5 seconds of execution, but many brokers still don't have that. Okay, so they are looking for this to be for brokers to allow selling the trade early up till across the time frames, up till close to the end. Okay, um, now banning sub 5 minute tender trades. This is something that I'm really quite worried about, and this is what's causing our traders to be quite concerned right now. And this is going to be quite a bad thing. I personally don't see that it's like bets really. As far as I'm concerned, it is the higher time frame stuff like end of day, 3 hour, 4 hour, 2 hour. Those is what I consider as bets. It's as a 2 hour trade is as much of a bet as a 90-minute soccer match. But sub 5 minutes, in my opinion, is what is the most certain, because when we look at the chart, while we cannot foretell what can happen in the next hour, I mean, who knows? There can be a sudden presidential election candidate getting some support, something that, like earlier today, we saw a crazy 21 pip spike on a Euro USD that came out in the middle of nowhere. Okay, like this one over here, out of nowhere, it just came up like this. That was quite mega. I mean, look, it's 41 pips. I got it mistaken. So I'm going to be talking about this in a moment. Let's just run through this one. Standardizing trading and settlement methodologies, algorithms for calculation of expiration and settlement values of underlying markets follow predetermined methodology. Individual methodology is not permissible. So I think this is something to do with how brokers. Some of them they used to offer only countdown or only standardize, only classic expiries, or like classic 5 minutes. And some brokers out there, they just force people to be operating within a certain time frame. But Olim Trade, for instance, they allow you to choose between a classic expiry and a countdown system. So I think them pushing brokers to offer a selection is certainly a really, really good thing. You can choose, the methodologies of your expiration, and of course, they're setting to by implementing this. You must have experienced times where you've taken a trade with any particular broker for 60 seconds, but somehow it went on to 90 seconds. Okay, so I can basically imagine, based on how cysec has been finding operators in the past, that if that should come up again, it would basically offer them a right to enforce that brokers pay back traders on incorrect expiry times showing up in their history that affect their expiration value, causing the loss of a trade. With regards to this one, basically, with the brokers that we work with, there are a couple of regulatory bodies outside of cysec. Look, there's also the FCA, there's also ASIC, there's GSC. GSC is more like a gaming license, okay? Olim Trade uses the IFC. And personally, my viewpoint is that, if it really comes down to that, firstly, of course, I think that cysec knows very well which are the major players in the industry. And the fact that they're still consulting about this right now means that this is still up to debates. And I hope the majority will overturn this proposal. But failing which, I personally don't plan to adapt. Okay, because I love the beauty of being able to make multiple trades per hour. Although when I first started out running the binary lab, I used to do a lot of these 5-minute trades. But If I had to go to 5 minutes and beyond only, while it would still be a lot better than Forex, but it's still going to be that much worse than what we know it has been good for us, like today, right? So when it comes down to it, I personally feel that is a lot of the big boys are just going to be affected, and a lot of us are just going to be running to brokers out of the other regulations. I know that ETX Capital, they have actually been submitting a application to get a cysec license. But in view of this, let's say if that comes out, I would think that some of these brokers would look out for a solution. Maybe they might go the gaming route for regulation, or they may just choose to see which other regulatory body is out there available to them that they can choose to work with, that traders still would find legitimate, and still be able to continue in trading. Because at the end of the day, I believe that as long as a broker is having good practices and is making a constant effort to be regulated, that alone would make traders comfortable. And with the reason being given, if brokers suddenly decide to disassociate themselves with a certain regulatory body, I don't think with reasonable explanation that traders will actually reject it. They'll probably be more receptive. But at the same time, if they can offer things like segregated funds in the meantime, then that's going to give broker customers a lot more confidence about what's to come. So coming back to this, I want to highlight that this is still being proposed, and if it really comes down to it, I think it's going to be at least another 3 months that they implement these things. And when it's being implemented, brokers again will probably be giving their customers about a 3 months window to adjust. But at the same time, I believe within that window, brokers should be looking for solutions as well. So that's my take on this. So overall, well, there are contingencies. I just hope we don't need to go that route. But these are my thoughts on these matters. Generally, I'm positive for most of the reforms, and I believe it's going to make binary options a much better place. It's going to make it much safer for people to invest large amounts of money in this form of trading, because I believe that up to this point of time, all the bad talks out there, especially even with like companies like OptionBit and Bank the Binary, Cedar Finance, famous brands in the past that have been stripped of their licenses or being warned or being fined a large amounts for misoperation. I think it's about time that things are getting standardized and being enforced. And I certainly hope that this brings some change to the industry. And if they really do choose to enforce the removal of sub 5 minute options, I do certainly hope that, as with how many countries have been regulating Forex, initially slapping on a really tight leverage requirement, eventually laxing up to reopen to, let's say, 3 minutes, 2 minutes. And if we didn't have 60-second, I could still probably make do with it, but I would love to have 60-second and everything beneath 5 minutes inside of it. All right, that's my take on this. And if you wish to have a look at any of these links, like this article or any of the pages that I've put up there, it's all going to be inside of the video description, so do check out for that. This is Junior Wong from the Binary Lab. And if you wish to subscribe to my mailing list to get more notifications on videos that I post up, or even my daily trading advices and webinar schedules, do go to thebinarylab.net/sign up and sign-up basically. It's all in the video description. I'll see you on the inside. Bye for now. Good trading.